have the white Sapote, and this variety is called Suebelle Sapote, and it was $38.98 at Lowe's. And I bought 2 of these because initially when I was researching it, it said use one of these varieties below for pollination. So, and it has Suebelle listed here. So I thought, oh no, it needs another one to pollinate with. So I went ahead and bought a second one. But on further research, it says that it is a self-fertile, self-pollinating plant. So being that I'm not too sure about that, I bought the second one because it wasn't clear. Even despite my research, it seems like it can self-pollinate, but it may not. And also, if you have 2, it will produce more fruit for you. Although I've heard mature trees can produce over 500 pounds of fruit per year. So it is to be determined later, I suppose. So I'm going to talk about this type of Sapote. It's called white Sapote, and this particular white Sapotes are also known as Casimiroa edulis, Casimiroa, or Mexican apple, according to Wikipedia. Casimiroa edulis. This species of tropical fruiting tree in the family Rutaceae is native to eastern Mexico and Central America, and also to Costa Rica. The genus is named after an Otomi Indian, Casimiro Gomez, who fought in Mexico's War of Independence and died. Mature C. edulis trees may reach 16 to 52 feet tall and are evergreen. The fruit are oval-like, or basically the size of a Granny Smith, and are green on the outside. They're 5 to 10 centimeters in diameter, with a thin, inedible skin that turns from green to yellow when ripe, and an edible pulp, which can range in flavor from bland to banana-like to peach to pear or vanilla flan-like. The pulp may be creamy white in green skin varieties or beige to yellow in yellow skin varieties, and has a smooth texture similar to ripe avocado. It may have 1 to 5 seeds, said to have narcotic properties. Narcotic properties is defined as something that makes one numb, any psychoactive compound with numbing or paralyzing properties. So as for this specifically, chemical constituents, seeds yield many pharmacologically active compounds, including N-methylhistamine and N-dimethylhistamine and histamine. And it also contains zapotin and zapotinin. The health effects of these chemicals are going to be discussed next. Several in vitro studies show zapotin has potential anti-carcinogenic effects against isolated colon cancer cells. The fruit has long been thought to produce drowsiness, but may be confused for its original name of sleep sapote, as its seeds are processed to produce a poison by the Aztecs, and the seeds and leaves, not the fruit pulp, contain sleep-inducing compounds. Taxonomy. Unlike mamey sapote, white sapote is a member of the family Rutaceae, to which citrus belongs. Black sapote is unrelated and is actually a species of persimmon. This confusion comes from the word sapote coming from the Aztec word Zapote, used to describe all soft, sweet fruit. According to Melissa's website, the creamy colored flesh of white sapote is very sweet and custard-like with several flat black seeds. White sapote is a tropical fruit native to Central America and is now grown in Mexico, Florida, and Southern California. White sapote closely resembles an apple in size and shape, but has thin, edible skin that is easily bruised and does not ship well. The most popular varieties sold in the U.S. are distinguishable by their skin colors, ranging anywhere from green to bright yellow. The slightly sour skin of green-colored sapote remain green when the fruit is ripe, while the yellow-green skin sapote is sweeter and becomes more yellow as the fruit ripens. The creamy-colored flesh of white sapote is very sweet and custard-like, with several black flat seeds. It tastes like a blend of banana, peach, lemon, and coconut. When buying, look for firm fruit that is green to yellow-green in color. Avoid fruit that is extremely soft or bruised. Sapotes ripen quickly. Hard fruit may be left at room temperature, uncovered until ripe. Ripe fruit will give to gentle pressure. Once ripe, refrigerate it unwashed in a plastic bag for several days. Freezing may cause fruit to become bitter. According to IFA's Extension, University of Florida, White Sapote Growing in the Home Landscape by Jonathan Crane and Carlos Bellardi. White sapote trees may have an upright or spreading growth habit. Inflorescence or flowering are in panicles with 15 to 100 flowers in pale cream or green colors, with 5 sepals, petals, and stamens. Some varieties produce female flowers and others produce hermaphroditic flowers. Some varieties of seedling fruit may have a slightly bitter aftertaste, especially the pulp near the peel. Pollination. White sapote flowers are pollinated by insects. Some varieties may only produce female flowers and require cross-pollination for good fruit production. Varieties: white sapote, Renike, Dade, Pike, Suebelle, Smathers, Homestead, Golden, Vernon. There are several others, but those are the ones that I've heard of. As far as climate goes, they're best adapted to subtropical climates with a distinct cool or dry period. Trees produce well in dry tropics or areas with distinct dry periods. A period of environmentally induced or cool and dry periods. The dormancy leads to flowering once warm temperatures and rainy season commences. White sapote trees are moderately tolerant of freezing temperatures, with young trees damaged or killed at temperatures at or below -4 degrees Celsius, 24 degrees Fahrenheit, and mature trees are damaged or killed below 26 degrees Fahrenheit. As far as propagation goes, white sapote trees may be propagated by seeds or vegetatively. Seeds should be planted within 3 weeks of harvesting from the fruit, and seedlings may begin to bear within 7 to 8 years. However, they may not be true to type. It's been said that 1 in 500,000 seeds will be usable or will grow true to type. I'm not too sure about that, because I've heard of several people who've used the seeds and had grown 5 seedlings and 2 had fruit, and they tasted wonderful. So, who knows? White sapote varieties do not grow true to seed and must be vegetatively propagated by grafting or budding onto seedling rootstocks. Grafting and budding is most successful during the warm season when trees are actively growing. Trees are reportedly very productive. Trees flowers from late fall to early summer. Depending on the variety, harvest season differs, but is generally spring and summer. Spacing of trees. White sapote grows moderately slowly. Trees that aren't regularly pruned will need lots of space because it eventually forms a large canopy. They need 25 feet plus away from the nearest tree structure. Trees planted too closely to other trees or structures may not grow normally nor produce much fruit in the shady areas. Soils. White sapote trees are adapted to most well-drained soils, from sands to clays to limestone soils. The leaves have anywhere between 3 to 5 to 7 leaves in a set. So here I see 5. Mostly it's 5, but here's one with 3. So that was another thing that was interesting that I read about it. Planting white sapote trees. Proper planting is important in successfully establishing and growing a strong, productive tree. Choose a tree that is free of pests, diseases, wounds, and constrictions. Water the tree regularly in preparation for in-ground planting. Select a spot with full sun away from other trees, buildings, structures, and power lines with well-draining soil below. Dig a hole 3 to 4 times the diameter and 3 times as deep as a container to loosen the soil. Backfill the soil to the point where when the tree sits in the hole, it will be level with the soil surface or just slightly above the soil surface. White sapote does not require too much fertilizer nor too much water. Water once to twice a week, and do not mow or use weed eaters near the tree trunk. Damage to the tree could cause decreased fruit production or tree death. Check out this site for irrigation and fertilization requirements at the University of Florida Extension website. When it's a young tree and you live in an arid environment, it's best to water it somewhat frequently to have it established in the first 2 years, and thereafter you can cut down on the waterings, but also be aware to not have root rot. So I had this tree kind of in the shade a little bit, and then it started to develop some spots here which it didn't have before, but the rest of it seems to be doing well and it has new growth. And I've had this tree for over a month now. So I'm going to put it more in the sun. There are a few insect pests, but remove them mechanically or with warm soapy water or neem oil is what I've heard. Much pruning in the first 2 years is encouraged to help with lateral growth of branches, and then cut the top of the tree to make it not grow too high several years later. Keep it to 10 to 15 feet tall after a few years. Do not remove lower tree branches. Prune after harvesting. Don't allow it to get too tall because it'll be hard to harvest, and because the branches may be brittle, you could fall, so it's not advisable to climb the tree branches to cut the branches down. Harvest, ripening, and storage. Harvest, ripening, and storage. Bear with me, there's airplanes today, it's a windy day, and my chickens are going crazy. Mature fruit may be picked days before fruit drop and should be clipped, leaving a small space of stem attached. When the fruit is ripe, the stem falls off. Fruit should be handled carefully since the skin is thin and can easily be damaged. If the pulp bruises, it becomes bitter. Harvested fruit should be ripened at room temperature, 26 to 28 degrees Celsius. Once ripe, it may be stored for 7 to 10 days in the refrigerator. Uses. It can be eaten fresh, it can be used in milkshakes, and it can be used in desserts. Some say it tastes like pudding, others say it tastes like sweet potato with honey and vanilla. NatureHills.com says that it ripens in May and June. Fruit ripens 6 to 8 months after flowering. It produces small white flowers that pollinators love. Fallen fruit can be pungent if not thrown out, so keep the tree to a size reasonable for harvesting the fruit. After planting the tree, trim off flowers and buds to strengthen the tree over time by encouraging branching. They tend to be brittle and susceptible to breakage in the high winds. Pick fruit as they begin to soften, but don't allow them to drop as the fruits are soft and break open when they hit the ground. Mature trees can produce hundreds of pounds of fruit every year. White sapotes have deep taproot systems that require deep soil. Propagated trees from grafts or buds produce fruit within 2 to 3 years. Seedling trees produce fruit in 6 to 8 years. Unripe fruit have a bitter taste. So according to Lowe's website, blooms and fruits, this tree blooms and fruits 2 times per year and produces apple-sized fruit with sweet banana flavor. Pick them when they're soft for best flavor. Usually are eaten fresh. The cold hardiness zone is 9, between 20 and 30 degrees Fahrenheit. According to tomorrow's harvest, the roots extend 50 feet. So try to keep them away from the house. Some people plant them as close as 12 feet or 9 feet. So I'm not sure, but it does have a big canopy. So, and another lady used the trick of to keep it from overgrowing, and she doesn't necessarily need as much fruit. She grew 3 together in a small space. So she had Suebelle and Vernon all in kind of a little trio together, and it keeps it small and gives reasonable amount of fruit instead of too much. And then she can have different flavored white sapote. And it's been said that the roots may be invasive, so that's one of the things that is going around. I'm not too sure on that either. And according to a source in Arizona, it burns easily with fertilizers and is very salt sensitive. So she doesn't use fertilizers. She just uses a little bit of compost. And according to that source, it ripens from October to November. And it turns from green to yellow to orange, and oftentimes it stays in that yellow to orange phase on the tree for a long time. So she just waits till it ripens on the tree rather than pulling it off and bringing it indoors and leaving it on her counter. It is hard to tell if ripe or if it's ripe just by looking at the color, because she says that the fruit can be fully ripe and still have green spots on it. So it's better to squeeze the fruit to see if it's ripe, and it tastes like pumpkin pie or vanilla pudding. Suebelle is self-fruiting and self-fertile, so this person says that as well. The tree can be somewhat messy, so don't plant near a pool, driveway, or a walkway. Protect from sun with shade cloth in the first 2 years. If the tree is pale and slow growing, it's iron deficient or zinc deficient. So use EDDHA or chelated iron or Liquinox iron and zinc in the soil. According to Google, the different white sapotes were ranked in order of quality, being that it said J. Rusky Yellow is excellent, Selk is excellent, Suebelle is excellent, Santa Cruz is excellent, Lemon Gold is good with the lemon mint flavor, Michelle is good, Cuccio is good, Vernon is fair, MacDill is poor. And of course these taste testers, or this ranking, is a matter of personal taste and the location and the care of the tree, the quality of the tree. And each of the sapotes have their own flavor profile. So, for instance, according to LA Times, the lemon gold has a lemon minty flavor, and that the skin can be eaten. And Michelle has a hint of caramel, and Cuccio stays green even when ripe. So, all very interesting qualities of the various different white sapotes, so they don't follow necessarily the same rules. And that Golden Globe is a favorite of many people, and Suebelle bears year-round, and Chestnut variety bears in the fall. And the best temperatures for ripening are between 50 to 60 degrees. Sapotes are high in vitamin C. So from many sources I've learned a lot about it, and I look forward to having it because when it fruits, because look at how gorgeous and yummy, and how they described it. And if it tastes like vanilla, coconut, and another lady said mango. I hope you learned as much as I have about white sapotes, and that you can go out and get yourself one as well. And this was quite inexpensive, and I think that in a few years I will have fruit once I decide where I'm going to permanently home it. So have a great day.